boldness can't exist in a vacuum. So just having a bold idea is such the smallest part of the kind of the process. You've got to get that idea out into the light and actually bought. So for me, I would just say don't create it on your own. Get the stakeholders involved as early as you can so that they can fight with you to make sure it gets there. Otherwise, your bold idea will just be yet another one that kind of, ends up in the bin.
Whether it's a community of teams working together or buy-in from the right people, or even just a system that's simple and solid and works well, you need some kind of foundation, or else anything too big is just going to topple over.
It's so important to have a process around how it's going to come to life, who are decision makers, who's weighing in. It makes the process more streamlined and smooth. And I also think just having fun along the way, again, knowing that you may make a mistake and it's okay, and learning from that. So I think leaning into the fact that we're all human and we want to have fun and bring bold ideas to life, having the process to get there, and celebrating when it does.
If content is king, then context is God. And I love how that resonates, because when we think about engaging in a big and bold way, right, it's about that context, right, and making sure that there's a personal connection, right, with the brand that you're engaging with in the first place, that they're looking to you and following you for.
You've got a talented creative group, marketers, but they're operating a system that was never designed for this pace or this volume. So even when you do break through, it can feel like a scramble just to do it all over again the next day. That's really the core tension. We're all trying to deliver high quality, high impact content, but we're doing it in an environment that is increasingly complex and overloaded.
What used to take hours or days even can now take minutes. This is the promise of intelligent automation in content workflows. And it really goes back to that shift that we talked about earlier. Today's DAMs ask you to do all the work. Tomorrow's DAMs are going to do it for you. And that's what we're building with Canto.
Where before we might have thought 300 assets was considered scale, now we're thinking 3,000 assets is more like it. But if those assets don't actually have effectivity, right, if they don't actually move the dial and change customer and consumer behavior, it doesn't matter, right? You're just flooding the internet with these pieces and bits of content. The level of quality that you would have brought to 300 assets to 3,000 assets, right? But also speak to brand equity, brand guardianship, and a consistency of quality that you expect, because your consumers need to move with the brand as the brand changes.
In a connected ecosystem like we're proposing, the DAM isn't just a filing cabinet, it's an activation engine. It helps your teams do the things that matter faster. You can find content instantly with smart search and tagging. You can keep everything structured and up to date. Teams can work together, leaving feedback, moving assets through approval without jumping between 5 different tools. Branding stays consistent because everyone's using the same approved versions. Sharing content is as easy as sending a link, and publishing to different platforms becomes much more streamlined. And most importantly, you get visibility. You can see what's performing, what's being used, and what's just taking up space. That means you can make smarter decisions, optimize your efforts, and actually reuse content that's working. This is what it means to truly scale content operations, not by working harder, but actually by working smarter.
It's not a strategy, right? And so one of the mistakes I sometimes see marketing organizations making is previously they had their eye on how am I getting the right message to the right customer? How is it right customer, right time, right message, right channel? And now they're shifting over here and going AI. And if you've shifted away from how am I serving my customers, you've just lost your focus.
It's definitely more challenging than ever to break through. And with that in mind, credibility and trust of your content is just so much more important. I think we're seeing that with the Google algorithm, the LinkedIn algorithm. They're catering towards expert content where they really want to make sure whoever's creating this, who's behind it, what's the expertise, what's the credibility, and that's where customer voice driven content comes in.